Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Paula. I am a 24-year-old single mom to one baby girl, and I just graduated nursing school. Yes. So we are back here for about round 3 at this point of becoming debt free, okay, once and for all. My nursing school program was around 16 months long, and for most of that I was not working in order for me to focus on my grades and graduate summa cum laude. Yes, your girl graduated summa cum laude. For those of you who are not aware, that is the highest of Latin honors that you can get, basically meaning that you have graduated with a 3.8 or higher during your program. So yes, I was able to obtain that. I needed to make sure I was able to focus on that and get my grades looking how they needed to look in order for me to ensure the path for my future career goals. Because yes, girl, we are not stopping at nurse. I'm very excited to be doing nursing. I'm very excited to have finished my program, especially with the highest regard. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of myself. And thank you for all the well wishes of everyone who wished me best of luck before I started. But yes, your girl has come out on the other side and we are looking fantastic. So yes, love. Today we will be going through my complete debt overview that I have accrued while in nursing school, how I had literally no money for all of 2024 and a good chunk of 2025, and let us begin the journey to never be broke again. Okay. We'll be going through each of my current debt accounts. I will show you guys the creditor, the loan type, the current balance, and the interest rate, and then I will be showing you from lowest to highest. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I went ahead and created this little template. This is my debt planner, just so I can walk you guys through exactly what is going on. So we have date, total debt, and then I want to keep track of my credit score. Then we have a list here so that I can fill it in with all the different loans that I have, the type, the balance, and the interest. So yes, let's go ahead and begin. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start with the date. Today is 5/15, so I'm gonna go ahead and write this down so that we can make sure we're keeping track of things. I gotta see what size I want this to be. Yeah, y'all can probably see that. Sorry, y'all know how I am with this iPad. All right, so 5/15, 2025. All right, we will go ahead and fill in total debt at the very end, and then we will fill in the credit score as well at the very end. So let's go ahead and start from the top. So we have our first credit card. That is going to be a Visa with my credit union. So I'm just gonna write credit union Visa. Don't mind the handwriting, please. This is a credit card. So I'm just gonna put credit card. And let's go ahead and get our balance in here. So our first card balance for this credit card for my Visa with my credit union is going to be $592.93. And then the interest rate for this card is 18%. Yes. Just want to make sure we're focused here. So number 2, the next card that we have is going to be my Apple card. That's a credit card as well. And then that balance is $1,430.96. So yeah, a huge jump. And now we getting into it for real, okay? So for this card here, the interest rate is 26.24%. And I can't really go into too much detail about like the card and what I was using it for, because I was using it for anything and everything that I needed to use it for. Some of my other balances, I can pretty much tell you exactly what I used it for, and we will get into that. But these might have been like miscellaneous, you know, groceries, gas, just like me surviving. You know what I mean? Me surviving. And then when I would get my, you know, little refund from school, my student loans and whatever, whatnot, then I would put a lump sum onto my card so that we can kind of clear it for the next semester so that we can survive again without me having to work. So that's kind of how we are accruing these different balances, right? So let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Number 3, we have my Bank of America card. So I'm gonna say, yeah, we could just write it out. We have space, Bank of America. Bank of America, and that is a credit card as well. And then on my Bank of America, we currently have $2,435.85. This Bank of America is 0% interest until 7/12. So what is that, July? Yeah, so it's 0% interest until July 12th. So then we also have this 4th one here, and that is going to be my rooms to go, because while I was in nursing school, we moved and we got some furniture. Yeah, I know. We got some furniture, and that's the card that it's on. I would just say this really quickly. I do not recommend rooms to go at all. I don't recommend rooms to go or Ashley Furniture, at least here in Florida. I feel like the quality of everything that I got was absolutely trash. I hate saying that because when I was younger, I got a really nice bedroom set from Rooms to Go. However, Rooms to Go has severely declined. It's terrible. It's abysmal. I got my daughter's room set from there. That's probably the only nice, sturdy stuff that I got from Rooms to Go. However, when it came, I purchased the plan where they will put it together for you. And then it came and they're like, oh no, we're not putting that together because it was a crib. And they're like, we don't put cribs together. So I was like, why did I just pay the extra like $150 for them to not put the stuff together? Nobody's telling me that they're not gonna put it together. And then y'all are trying to charge me for in-house delivery for something that you didn't, you know what I mean? So it was just like a hot mess. I honestly do not recommend them. I will more than likely never shop there ever again. I got a couple of my pieces from Wayfair, unmatched 100% Wayfair. The quality of the items that I got are so much better than the Rooms to Go stuff that I got. Mind you, the Rooms to Go stuff that I got was maybe double, triple the price of the Wayfair stuff that I got. So I just wanted to put that out there. Never shop there if you want good quality stuff for the amount of money that you're paying. Simple as that. Ashley Furniture, same goes for them. Lots of our chairs acting up, broken, came broken or wobbly or whatever. Sometimes they will go ahead and get you like a new chair, but it's like, who wants to go through calling them on the phone with them, needing to get new furniture delivered, having to arrange that? Like, girl, just give me good quality pieces from the very beginning. So yeah, we will more than likely never be shopping there ever again. So I just wanted to warn you guys, shop there at your own risk. And yeah, that's just my consumer experience with them. So yes, moving on. Like I said, we have the Rooms to Go card with some furniture on it. That is currently sitting at $2,597.70. And then this is 0% interest until 2028 because it's the 5 years with no interest. But yeah, I 5 years no interest, I still wouldn't buy any pieces from them. They're trash. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to number 5. Yes, we are getting up there in the amount of loans we have out, but moving on. Number 5 is going to be my Capital One credit card. So my Capital One credit card. Alrighty, so this Capital One credit card is sitting currently at $2,908.40. And then this interest is 29.74%. So yeah, that's quite a large interest rate on a pretty nice size balance. So yeah, I don't really like that too much. I was not really looking at like the interest rate. I was just looking at like, okay, I need this for this. I tell you, the past 16 months, I've never needed to have so much car maintenance in my life for my car. Love my car down. I have a 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Great little car. Love him down. However, he has never needed so much maintenance than when I was in nursing school. And then I was scammed as well while I was trying to get car maintenance for him. If you live in Florida, Jacksonville area, I highly do not recommend AutoNation for mobile car service. Okay, don't do it. They scam me because he came in. I needed some spark plugs. He came in, did a terrible job, actually caused more damage. My car was like shaking, you know, like when you drive for a long period of time or just a period of time in general, it starts shaking. Yeah, your spark plugs are like loose or whatever. So I think I got a diagnostic from AutoZone and they're like, yep, you need spark plugs. Cool. Get on the phone with AutoZone so that they can come out and, not AutoZone, sorry, AutoNation, their mobile service, because I'm a busy girl. I have clinicals, I have school. I'm not trying to, you know, leave my house for any other reasons. I have a daughter. Like, no, girl, we're not packing up to go anywhere that I don't need to go. So, had them come out. Well, had one person come out. Name was Adrient G. If they're going to send him out, do not use him. He's terrible. Anyways, he comes out, goes ahead, does the service, comes back to my front door. I give him a tip because that's what you do. Why was he shocked when I gave him the tip? Oh yeah, first red flag. First red flag, you already done played in my face, right? You already played in my face with this car mechanic service. The fact that you were shocked that I gave you a tip, cool. Next day I drive it. Still shaking. Why are we shaking when I just got the spark plugs fixed? Cool. So I went ahead, because this was Saturday, so I went ahead to what was it? It was an actual like auto body shop, like in my city, like when you actually go to a standalone, like a Mavis, but it wasn't Mavis. I forgot what it was called. But you go to a Mavis type place, right? Oh yeah, I don't know what they were doing, but they used really cheap spark plugs, and then he actually was jamming it in there, and he was like crushing very sensitive things. What, I don't know, I'm not a car person, but he was like, basically he went in there, he tried to shove it in there, he crushed some sensitive sensors. So now we're having to fix what he's done and then give you good quality spark plugs on top of that. So I paid AutoNation like $200 something to come out and fix the spark plugs. And then the next place that I had to go to, I really don't remember what it was called, but they did a great job. I don't remember what it was called. Doesn't matter. It's probably like local to me anyways. And that costed me, I want to say about $1,000. I'm not even gonna lie. I want to say about like $900 something to fix his mistake, and then to get it fixed, get the spark plugs, and then I went and I contacted AutoNation like, hey, like y'all did a terrible job. I had to go back to an actual auto body shop and they had to go fix it. They're like, oh, well, in order to give you a refund or do anything like that, we have to have our person come out to the car and see what's going on. Baby, I don't have time for you to be delaying me. I have school on Monday. It's Sunday. And you're talking about the earliest you can get somebody to come out to the car is like Wednesday. Girl, what am I supposed to do with my car? Like, she's vibrating. No, I'm gonna get it fixed. It's at the auto body shop right now. I'm gonna get it fixed because I need to get it fixed. Like, what? I'm not, like, let's stop with the BS here, okay? They're talking about, oh, but our warranty, you have to, okay, whatever. I have yet to leave a negative review. I really need to, but I keep forgetting. It's just like, I don't even care to do like that. I feel like that's me wasting more time on stuff that I don't need to waste time on, right? So yeah, I just try to like leave that in the past. And from now on, I go to auto body shops. Like recently, Theo needed his brakes fixed. Went and got the front axle brakes fixed and then the tires re-put on. That was another $600. Yeah. So it's just like, I've never needed so much auto repair, but you know, he deserves it. So it is what it is. Anyways, that was a long segue, but yeah, I would never use AutoNation. I would never go shop at Ashley's or Rooms to Go, period, point blank. Those are my recommendations. Stay away from them. Now, moving on. Yes, we have some more. Yes, we do, unfortunately. I will say, as I was calculating these prior, it did hurt my head. And yeah, so let's go ahead and continue so I can go ahead and let you guys see the whole picture together. So let's go with number 6. So number 6 is going to be my lovely, 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 love this card down, my favorite card ever, my Discover card. Miss Discover here, she was the first credit card that ever took a chance on me. I have a pretty big limit with her, and this was the card, this was the sole card that allowed me to get through my nursing school program with a child pretty much worry-free. Like, obviously I have like my family and my support system that I can lean on. I never lean on them for money, but like as far as like a roof over my head, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying any rent right now as I was in nursing school, right? So that type of thing. But this paid for Anora's daycare, period. Like, every week her daycare came out, $340 a week on this Discover. When I would get my student loan refund back, I would put a chunk on the Discover so that it would last another 3 months, another 4 months. That's how I survived, period. So this is a credit card, and her balance is $9,494.88. And then her interest rate is 27.24%. So all of this, pretty much daycare. That's pretty much daycare. Say for instance, with my student loans, I would get $5,000 back, $4,000, $3,000 back. I was putting it on my Discover so that we could survive another 4 months. Anora's daycare is around $1,400 a month, with it being $340 every week. And so yeah, that had us survive and allowed me to pay for her daycare and have her have some place to go while my mom's here working and taking care of a family member that had moved in with us that's a disabled veteran. So that allowed it for Anora to have somewhere to go so that she was taken care of fully while my mom's doing this. My brother's out working, my other brother's in school, I'm in school, like just a super very busy household, a lot going on. So that's that. That's why she's looking like that. I can't really be too mad at it. I would love for this, you know, amount to not be here, but it is what it is. And you know, that's the price you pay. So all right, let's move on. I know, yes. there's another one. Yes. So here we have a nice, you know, a nice 7 loans out basically. These are credit cards, but they're loans at the end of the day. So this last one and this final one is gonna be, I'm gonna call it Nelnet because that's my student loan servicer. But obviously this is student loans. I'm gonna say Nelnet and FedGov because obviously that's where that's coming from. So student loan. So yeah, okay. So let's kind of talk about that for a moment. So Nelnet, FedGov, student loan, and then what's the balance? So like I said, just graduated from nursing school. So nursing school was my second degree. I did an ABSN program. My first degree was BSH, so Bachelor's of Science in Health, or BHS. Is it Bachelor's of Health Science? Yeah, Bachelor's of Health Science. That was my first degree. And then I went back to school to get my nursing degree because obviously nursing is going to pay more than like that degree doing like, basically I feel like that degree kind of gets you in maybe like the State Department or some sort of hospital work, but like low paying hospital work, if that makes sense. So not like you're working with patients so you're getting paid a halfway decent wage, but like you're doing insurance for patients when they come into the hospital, or you're like intake type of person. So you're not going to be getting paid as much as a nurse, obviously, who's like passing meds and is licensed and has legalese that go with being a healthcare sort of provider or something like that, right? So I was like, obviously this is not going to pay the bills. I didn't really go into college knowing exactly what I wanted to do. I really bounced around a lot. I wish I maybe would have waited until I really figured out what I wanted to do, or like maybe came to the conclusion that I wanted to be a nurse sooner so that I didn't have to do a second degree. But I didn't. I wanted to do real estate. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a psychologist. Like I wanted to be all these different things throughout that first degree. So I was changing my major a lot. And so that had me in school for a good chunk of time. Then I had my daughter, took a semester and a half break off, like a normal semester and the summer semester off, and then finished my prerequisites for nursing school, finished that first degree, and then went straight into my nursing degree. So with that being said, I guess I'm just kind of like trying to soften the blow of like why this number looks like this, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So my student loan amount, this is including like about $1,300 worth of interest, because when we had, you know, 2021, 2, 3, things were deferred and stuff like that, which I'm so grateful for because this number would be astronomical right now. But hold on, nobody told you to do that. But we are currently sitting at $51,140.88. And then the average interest is 4.5%. So that's the average interest. That's, some of my loans are like 5.5. And you know how student loans are, or if you're not aware, like it's every time you're in a semester, or I think it's like, no, I think it's semester based, right? It's a different loan. So it adds a new loan, it starts your loan over, and that affects your credit score and just a whole bunch of stuff like that. So that's why it's average, because it's several loans wrapped up into one total that you owe the government, right? So yes, this is all of my current debt. These are my debt balances. So let's go ahead and calculate these. I want to calculate my consumer debt first, and then we will go ahead and add the student loans as well. Actually, I'll just leave this over here so y'all can kind of see it. I don't have to pick it up because y'all can see that. So let's do 592.93, my Visa, plus my Apple Card that's sitting at $1,430.96, plus my Bank of America card that is sitting at $2,435.85, plus my rooms to go, which I have 5 years to pay, but obviously, you know, I'm not gonna wait 5 years to pay this, but that one's sitting at $2,597.70. Then we have the Capital One. She's sitting at $2,908.40. And then lastly, for my consumer debt credit cards, we have my Discover, and she's sitting at $9,494.88. So for my consumer debt alone, we are sitting at $19,460.72. So basically $20,000, because you know, interest, I am currently doing like the minimum payments, but once we get into my cash budgeting and all of that good stuff, I will be aggressively putting money towards my different loans that are out right now. So yes, we have $20,000 worth of debt that we need to go ahead and pay off as soon as I possibly can. Let's go ahead and add up this student loan as well, so we can get the total. So adding my student loans in there, which is $51,140.88. So altogether, for the debt that is in my name, we are sitting at $70,601.60 total. So that is what we're sitting at total for all the debt that is in my name. So let's go ahead and write that in here, total debt. So that is $70,601.60 here. 60 cents. And then I also wanted to include my credit score, just so we can see, like, okay, for somebody that has good debt repayment, because I pay all of my minimums at the least, I pay all my minimums on time. They range from, you know, 10, 25, 30. I think 35 is my lowest. This one is $10 right now, but the rooms to go, I think, is $35 because it's over a 5-year loan. And then all the way up to around $235 for my Discover. When my student loans start up, these repayment on my student loans will be, the base from my loan exit counseling is $500 a month, but income base, with me having a dependent slash head of household, income base with what I'll be making as a nurse, it should go down to around $200. And because I'm trying to go back to school a couple years down the line, so that like I can kind of triple my salary in order to pay off my student debt faster, like in the long run, if that makes sense. Where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna try and pay like the $500 a month. I'm gonna break it down, do the $200 so that I'm able to save up for when I start that program, because obviously I'm gonna be working less or not at all when I'm in that program. So that when I come out on the other side, I'll be able to pay off whatever I have left, plus whatever I accrue from the next degree in like a year or two, versus this is a 10-year plan. $50,000 in 10 years equals $500 a month, right? So yeah, that is the main thing for my student loans. So yeah, that's going to be around $200 once that starts up in November. But yeah, so somebody that has let's say $71,000 of debt out. I have two credit scores that are available to me. So the first one is like the Vantage score. So I'm not sure what the Vantage score is. You can let me know down below what exactly that is. But that score for me is 618. And then the second credit score I have is the FICO credit score. I mean, you can explain in the comments. I'll probably go and ask ChatGPT later anyways, just so I can kind of have a really good understanding of it, because I feel like these are low, right? Like according to like the chart that you see when they show you your score, like I'm an average for people like my age and like debt accounts. But it's low. Like it's not the 700, it's not the 695, it's not the 850. And my credit score used to be higher, obviously, before I got all of this debt, plus my student loans that I've just been, because like I said, every time you add another student loan, it shortens, well, it creates a new loan. And so the lifespan of your like previous debt shortens. I don't know how to explain it. Y'all should know what I'm talking about though. As far as like anytime you get a new credit card, it makes it seem like your credit lines are not as mature, which is true because you just got a new card. My Discover card, I had that since I was 18, so that looks really good on my credit. But I also had a Victoria's Secret card that closed because I wasn't using it. And that was the second card that I got at 19, but because it closed, that brought my score down a little bit, because that was one of my mature cards that is now off of my account or my record. And so now it looks like my credit history maturity is like not as old, right? So that should make sense. And then I have several other cards that closed as well because I wasn't using them, because you know, when you're financially illiterate and you're young and nobody really teaches you too much, right? Let me push this up, that, okay. You don't know about all those things, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna open up a bunch of credit cards because that's gonna increase my debt to, like my debt to the amount that I have will be lower. Like my utilization will be lower. So like the more money you have that's allowed to you, like the higher your credit card limits are and the less you use, like that lowers your utilization. So I was like, okay, if I have $20,000 worth of, what is it called? Credit limits, or just like what's allowed to you. If you have a $20,000 credit limit and you use 200 of that, that looks really low compared to if you have a $2,000 credit limit. You know what I'm saying? So I stretched that over several cards, right? Like 1,000 here, 500 there, 3,500 here, 5,000 here, 7,500 here, 10,000 here, type of thing, right? Over several cards. So when they're closing because you're not using them, it makes my credit history look younger, essentially. That should make sense. It makes sense. I think, you know, if you have credit cards, you kind of know that, right? Anyways, my second credit score is 665. It was actually, I actually rounded down once because it was 66 with another one added on it, and I felt weird about that. So I was like, no, we're gonna go with 665. So yeah, like I said, it used to be much closer to 700. I don't think I really ever went over the threshold of 700 just because when I was closer to 700, I was younger. So the, what is it called? The maturity looked younger, right? So I didn't have like a huge credit score, a huge nice credit score, but it's gone down significantly. It's gone down significantly due to how much money I have out, due to my student loans repopulating every 4 months as like new loans, and then as well as cards that have closed recently. I've had several cards that have closed. I don't know how many, but there's several of them. Like I said, my Victoria's Secret closed. I think I might have had like a TJ Maxx that closed. I had a care credit that closed. I had a card with IKEA that they never actually sent me a physical card, so I couldn't use it anyways, but that had closed. So that's already like 4 or 5 cards that just closed right off the bat. So yeah, that's gonna affect your credit score. But I'm hoping that as we pay these down and these come off of my credit utilization, I'm sorry if that confused y'all. I was really talking a long time about credit and stuff like that. I'm not a professional. That's just things that I've learned and I've experienced, and you know, stuff like that. But once my utilization is down, we should be looking much better. And then paying my student loans off should help. And then obviously as years build up, the maturity of my credit overall will be higher, especially if I don't let any of my other cards close for the most part. Then yeah, we'll be good. So yeah, this is pretty much all of my debt. Let me put it back this way so you can see everything in one screen. So yeah, this is she. This is what we're looking like. This is everything. But yeah, so like I said, my main plan for debt repayment is going to be to aggressively pay this down. I will have cash envelopes. We will be cash stuffing. We will be getting into all of that, which I'm super excited to do. Using my paychecks. Oh, I can tell you guys, I'm a nurse extern, so I do currently work. I'm waiting to take my NCLEX in June, which is next month in a couple of weeks. I'm looking to take that soon. And then my residency starts mid-July. So yes, that's the main thing about everything. That at that point I'll be full-time. I work almost a full-time schedule right now, but I'm classed as PRN. So I'm not getting any like PTO or any insurance or anything like that. So things will be different once that comes about. But as of right now, this is how things are looking. I will be trying my damnedest to put all the extra money that I have into my debt accounts, get them paid down. I'm thinking that I'm gonna maybe do the avalanche method, but I'm going to take into account these interest rates. So I don't want the interest rate tacking on to any of these. So like, for instance, I'll probably pay off this one first. This one, the interest starts accruing on this, like the whole lump sum of interest that it's been accruing, it's gonna tack onto it in July. So I definitely want to get this paid by July. So this will probably be the second card that I pay, even though it's at 0% interest, because it's gonna tack on a couple $100s, like several $100s, I think. I don't know. I'll have to see. We're gonna go through my actual plan. I just wanted to do a debt overview for you guys so you can see where we're starting, but I will do another video that kind of explains how exactly we're gonna go about this, what our game plan is gonna be after I think about it a little bit, and go from there. We'll see what I need to put in my cash envelopes, and then see how much we're gonna be able to put towards these debts, and then in what order we're gonna pay the debt off, because I do need to think about it a little bit more. But yes, I'm looking forward to you guys joining me on this journey of debt repayment. I know a lot of us are financially looking crazy as hell right now. This is very trying times, very crazy, but I'm very much so looking forward to getting this paid down, moving on with my life. We're looking to get a house. You know, we want to finally buy a house, not just rent. It's not the best market right now, so we're definitely trying to wait a little bit. That's why I'm like, I want to get my credit scores higher, credit utilization down. I want these to be at 0, stay at 0, figuring out maybe a strategy to keep them open but keep nothing on them for the most part, you know what I mean? And then get this paid down, but also save money so that when I start my next program, I'm able to survive and not actually go broke. That would be fantastic. That's the goal for me. That's the vibes. So yes, I'm very much so looking forward to you guys tuning in and making videos for you guys so that we can go through this, get this debt paid down together. Tell me about you guys' journey in the comments. I would love to hear what's going on with everyone, and we're in this together, you guys. Like, whatever your debt amount is, I know these types of videos are very motivating for me. If you've watched my past videos, we were able to pay down $12,000 in debt before I started nursing school. And so we will definitely be able to do this again, especially with a higher salary as well. So I'm very, very, very excited. Please leave down below you guys' stories, what your guys' debt repayments are looking like, how much you guys owe, what are we going to be doing to get it fixed. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Alrighty, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.